Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sports Zone.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Braves' new lineup that debuted 2 days ago has produced 14 runs in its first 2 games against the Diamondbacks. The offense has been doing the little things, hitting the long ball, and giving Atlanta fans a reason to cheer at home. And tonight they have a chance to sweep Arizona. Stay hot, boys, and let's get greedy and get one more win. The Braves and D-backs finish up the series tonight at Turner Field. Another hot night in Atlanta as the Braves enjoy another night at Turner Field in Atlanta. We go for a 3-game series sweep as we once again entertain the Arizona Diamondbacks. And all season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. And hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back at the ballpark. Tom Hart will be along in just a few moments as Atlanta tries to win its 3rd straight game here at Turner Field and get back over the 500 mark here at home. And one reason why, Joe, the Atlanta starting staff of Tim Hudson and Tommy Hanson so far have pitched excellent baseball.
I'm not sure how the speech was delivered by Freddie Gonzalez, but it sure was read loud and clear by the first 2 guys who have pitched in this homestand. Tim Hudson and Tommy Hanson both turned in outstanding performances. Hudson 8 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, and Tommy Hanson was great last night until he made a mistake and gave up a 3-run homer, but only 1 walk and 5 strikeouts for him, which leads us tonight to Jair Jurgens, his 2nd start since he came back. Well, we're going to go to Trevor Bauer instead. Well, no, we're going to go to Jair Jurgens. This is what you call a curveball. And a curveball, you got to stay back and you got to wait and see what happens, and then you got to fire on it. Jair gave up a hit in the 1st inning, and then he didn't give up another hit until the 8th inning of his start against Boston. Only 1 earned run while he was out there. Just a brilliant return to the big leagues. Hopefully more of the same tonight. Now to this kid who's going to pitch tonight for the Diamondbacks. We got to look at him warming up tonight. This started at 5:55 tonight for a 7:10 start. He was in the bullpen, stretching, throwing balls against the wall, doing some really odd stuff with some bands and some bendy pole thing. I mean, this is kind of nuts for a guy who's going to pitch tonight. Looks like the kind of stuff you do between starts. Not for Trevor Bauer, who will be the first player out of the 2011 draft to pitch in the big leagues. Then if that wasn't enough, he's throwing a long toss from over by the Braves bullpen to the left field corner. He threw about 30 or 40 of those. I'm sure the Diamondbacks are just hoping he's got something left for tonight's game.
They say he leverages his pitches a lot like Tim Lincecum. That pregame routine certainly was freaky for the young Arizona right-hander Trevor Bauer, who debuts tonight here in Atlanta. He will face a Braves lineup that's certainly getting it done in the first 2 games of the series. Not just the 1, 2, 3 hitters, but the bottom of the order has been great for Atlanta, and we'll break that down for you right after this. Backs. The pitching's been excellent. How do you like this newfangled lineup for Fredi Gonzalez?
I tell you, the guys that are doing the damage, Chip, are the guys at the bottom of the order, numbers 6, 7, and 8. Take a look at these numbers. 4 hits for Chipper, 5 for Fredi, 2 for Anderson, including a double. 5 RBIs mixed in there, and 8 runs scored between the 3 of them. In fact, it's been so good that tonight one of them gets promoted. Chipper will move up to bat 6th. Dan Uggla will drop down to number 7. Hopefully he can join that 6, 7, and 8 party.
And hopefully the Braves bats will be booming for Jair Jurgens, who looks for his 2nd win of the season. And Atlanta looks for a 3-game series sweep. First pitch on a hot night at Turner Field is coming up right after this. In part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Toyota. It's a great night for a sweep as the Diamondbacks pay their final visit to Turner Field tonight. Jair Jurgens will go to the mound for the Braves. Trevor Bauer makes his big league debut. An exciting day for him. And the ball club out of Atlanta trying to knock off Arizona for the 6th time in 7 games played so far in the 2012 season. And here's how Kirk Gibson lines up the Diamondbacks. Willie Bloomquist gets the start at third base. He'll be the leadoff man. Second game for Stephen Drew. Justin Upton, Jason Kubel, and Paul Goldschmidt in the middle of the order. Miguel Montero will catch. Aaron Hill is at second base. And Chris Young, who hit a pinch hit homer here last night, patrols center field and hits 8th in front of young Trevor Bauer.
Jair Jurgens is on the mound for his 6th start overall, but his 2nd since coming back to the big leagues. And take a look at this. His last 45 starts at Turner Field, 22-12. Excellent ERA and batting average against, and averaging into the 7th inning in all of those starts. So good work here at Turner Field. And let's hope for more of the same from his start in Boston, where he went 7 2/3, 3 hits, and just 1 run allowed. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. What we saw right away in Boston was a renewed focus. Boy, was he zeroed in on the glove. That led to some outstanding command. He only walked 1 batter in that start in 7 2/3 innings, struck out 4. Tonight, if he's working both sides of the plate like he was that night with his changeup, especially moving it around, then he's going to have a good night.
For Jurgens, his first start in Atlanta since April 18th. That was a game he took a no decision against the New York Mets, allowing 4 runs in 4 innings of work. You see him with the long sleeves on. Surprising because it is toasty. 97 degrees, but thankfully low humidity. It is sunny, it is hot, but it is comfortable with the breeze blowing out toward right center here in Atlanta. So Jurgen's ready to go. So is Willie Bloomquist, the Arizona third baseman. Fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Bloomquist hits one high in the air toward left center. Martin Prado goes to the track and makes the catch. Bloomquist doesn't have a homer this year, but flirted with one to lead off the game. 1 out. Martin Prado in left tonight. Bourne and Hayward join him in the Braves outfield. Standard infield setup for Freddie Gonzalez. And Brian McCann is back behind the plate. Arizona happy to get Stephen Drew back in the lineup last night. He was 1 for 4.
Seemed to be moving pretty well, too. Watched it run down the line a couple of times. Didn't seem to be impaired too much.
There's that changeup that was so effective up in Boston.
Fastball in Boston was early on. I think he had a little adrenaline going, and he was up around 92, and then kind of calmed down around 88 to 90 most of the night after that, which is about where Tommy Hanson was most of the night last night, too.
Drew lines one towards center, but Michael Bourne comes galloping into left center field, and he makes a waist high catch for the second out.
Nice plays by the outfielders in left and center, running some down.
And the base is clear now for Justin Upton. The Arizona right fielders had a good series. He's 3 for 7 and batting .275 for the year. Ball, 1 strike.
Braves have really cooled off this hot hitting Arizona team that came to town tearing it up. Long balls, high average, hitting with runners in scoring position. And until they broke out last night with that 4-run inning, they get a 3-run inning in the 5th. No, I was right the first time. 4-run inning in the 7th. They really hadn't had much working.
All starts with your pitching. Hanson and Hudson. Very effective work. And JJ just missed the corner to Upton. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tried the same spot, the left side of the Braves infield. Thought he had him struck out again, but didn't get the call.
They didn't have a very good angle, but Chipper and Andrelton both were headed to the dugout. Just a little wide.
High hopper hit towards second, and Ugla makes the play. Jurgens with a 1-2-3 first inning. The Braves' booming bats go to work as Trevor Bauer debuts for the D-backs. Braves come up and are the first team to face Trevor Bauer, the young right-hander for the Diamondbacks in big league play. Atlanta's offense has been terrific of late, and Freddie Gonzalez has the same personnel, but a couple of changes. Chipper Jones and Dan Ugla swap spots in the batting order. Chipper moves up a spot, Ugla moves down a spot, and bats in front of first baseman Freddie Freeman.
Well, here's your first look at Trevor Bauer, and remember this one. This look a little different. That's his first warm-up toss with the catcher standing back on the grass, and he ran up the back slope of the mound to deliver it. Things are not, I would say, conventional for this guy. Great numbers at AA and AAA combined this year, but look at the walks, 48 of them in 93 innings. This guy has a routine that he goes through. We showed you in the pregame chat that he has to go through that started an hour and 15 minutes before the game began tonight, including a lot of long toss. Out of UCLA, where he was the Golden Spikes Award winner in college in 2011, as well as the Player of the Year as designated by Baseball America and Collegiate Baseball magazines. 6'1", 185 out of Santa Clarita, California.
And his first pitch as a big leaguer, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike.
His 4 keys to success, a lot of choices. A lot of choices. Supposedly he has like 9 different pitches that he will employ, and the walks are a concern. The walks an issue in AAA, where he walked 22 in 44 innings and 8 in his last 12 innings.
And after his first major league pitch, they threw the baseball out. In fact, the ball was rolled to the Braves dugout. Freddie Gonzalez picked it up, tossed it over to the Arizona dugout. So first pitch Bauer threw will head to his trophy case.
Well, and you know what? That tells me right there that he didn't want it. It wasn't Trevor Bauer that asked for the baseball. It was the Diamondbacks that did. He didn't know where to throw it.
And that one skips up and got a big piece of Montero. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Low to mid-90s fastball, 12-6 curve that he just bounced up there. There's another one. A slider, a change, and a split. His dad is here to watch him pitch tonight. I don't know about the rest of the family.
And Bourne was right on that fastball and fouled it straight back.
see a lot of Tim Lincecum in this delivery, styled after it a little bit. And he went to some pitching, I'll call it a pitching school in Houston over the wintertime, lived in Houston so he could attend this school and learn about biomechanics.
His first hitter is a strikeout. Michael Bourne caught looking. 1 out.
And with all the new studies in physical conditioning, he's trying to put that to his best use. So while unconventional, I guess we'll have to wait to judge whether or not it's actually going to work for him.
Well, he sure knows how to strike hitters out. 460 strikeouts and 373 collegiate innings. In fact, in Pac-10 history, only one pitcher struck out more men than Trevor Bauer. You mentioned the name Tim Lincecum. That was the guy who did it with Washington from 2004 through 2006. And now he faces a red-hot Jason Hayward, who's sporting a 12-game hit streak. To first, Goldschmidt has it, and 2 are out. Here's the Arizona defense, and it's a good one. Kubel, Young, and Upton in the outfield. First start for Young in the series. Willie Bloomquist at third. Stephen Drew back in at shortstop. Dylan Goldschmidt on the right side with Miguel Montero behind the plate.
Say this for the kid, he doesn't waste any time.
And a base hit for Martin Prado. His 4th hit of the series. A 2-out single brings up Brian McCann.
Breaking ball that didn't do much, but kind of tumble up there, and Martin banged it through the middle for a base hit.
And fouled off Brian's body, strike 1. High fly ball to right. And Upton in a few steps. Has it. And that ends the Braves' first. Trevor Bauer's a big league pitcher. He surrenders a hit and nothing else as we go to a scoreless second. League pitcher, and if you'd like, check out Game Connect to see how Trevor Bauer will stack up against the Atlanta offense. Get on Game Connect now for all the live stats during our game tonight. Find Game Connect only on FoxSportsSouth.com. Meanwhile, Jair Jurgens, a 1-2-3 first for the Atlanta club, and he'll face Kubel, Goldschmidt, and Montero in the Arizona second. Kubel's 1 for 8 in the series. That hit a homer.
Last night, one of the keys to success, as it turned out for Tommy Hanson, were first pitch strikes. He thought that that would be important, and it was.
If my memory is correct, I think Jurgens was 21 for 28 first pitch strikes in Boston. Just missed the inside corner to Kubel.
He was actually chipped 19 out of 21 through 7 going into the 8th inning when he gave up the only run. So I'm not sure how many of the last 4 batters he threw first pitch strikes to, but I had him at 19 out of 21 through 7.
So we're speaking the same language. He was ahead in the count an awful lot. And out of play by Kubel. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well hit center. Bourne going back. Still going back. It's over his head and off the base of the fence. And Kubel on his way to second, and he stands there with a double. '18th double for Jason Kubel.
Hanson had a lot of success last night with breaking balls and off-speed pitches. That was supposed to be kind of a backdoor slider, but it didn't go to the back door. It had too much of the plate.
So the Diamondbacks have the first runner in scoring position tonight. This has been a problem for them in the series. They have not hit very successfully with runners at second base or third in the first 2 games.
And not just this series, but all year long against Atlanta. For the season, they're just 5 for 35 against Atlanta. A 143 average.
And that was a totally different story than how Arizona came into this series. Remember, the D-backs were riding a 4-game winning streak. But over their previous 6 games, we're hitting .411 with runners in scoring position. Gone ice cold.
Oh, good pitch.
He's not getting the corners called early. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch isn't necessarily a strike every time, but that was close, and one to keep Goldschmidt honest.
Ground ball right side. Good at bat Goldschmidt. Runner to third. 1 out.
That'll please his hitting coach, Don Baylor, who celebrates a birthday today. The former Braves hitting coach is 63 today.
Kubel at third for Montero, the Arizona catcher, with 42 RBIs. 21 of them have come in June.
And likes the first pitch.
Two balls, no strikes. Braves start play tonight 3.5 games behind Washington. They're 3 back. At the moment, Colorado in extra innings beat the Nationals 11-10 at Coors Field. Washington will be here tomorrow night. Mets are 4 back. Miami 8.5 back, and the Phillies lost again. This time the Pirates won 5-4.
Colorado was up on Washington 7-0. Bryce Harper hit a home run in the ninth to tie it 10-10. And then the Rockies won it in 11.
Dangerous pitch from Jurgens. 3 balls and a strike to Montero.
I like that 2-seam sinker that he just missed with a minute ago. Try that again.
It missed, and they're at the corners with 1 out. First walk for Jurgens, and Aaron Hill comes up looking for a milestone hit. He's 1 away from 1,000.
And he's had the best series of anybody on their team. He's 4 for 8. Has his average up to 297.
Five double plays for Hill this year. Remember, he fouled a ball off his foot last night. Might help if he hits a ground ball at someone on the infield.
A little different shin guard too.
Yeah. In the air to right. Jason Hayward makes the catch. Tagging is Kubel. Throw to the plate is gonna get him.
That was brilliant. That was just textbook stuff. Got himself in a good position to come to the ball, had his momentum coming to home plate, caught it over his throwing shoulder, and then threw a 1-hop strike to Brian McCann. Great job on both ends, but what a throw.
And we're scoreless, heading to the home half of the second.
by Jason Hayward. Again, watch how he comes to the ball, catches it over his throwing shoulder, and cuts loose a one-hop perfect throw so that Brian McCann doesn't have to do anything but catch the ball and then hang on. He didn't have to reach for it. Just that left foot out there in the way of Kubel and rides him out. What a great play.
5th assist for Hayward. He's gunned down 4 men at the plate now this season. And that keeps the game scoreless as Chipper Jones, Dan Uggla, and Freddie Freeman are coming up. Chipper's starting to feel like his swing is back where he likes it. Numbers showing that too. 5-game hitting streak, 7 hits in 19 tries during that span. Chipper a leadoff single.
Both hits he's given up have come on off-speed pitches. Two and 0. Went to a changeup and left it belt high. Chipper with a nice job of staying back, and he has been throwing that lumber.
So a 6-game hitting streak for Chipper. That brings up Dan Uggla for 7 in the series. He takes a good live fastball for a called strike.
Last June, getting to this point, we knew that Dan had gotten off to a rough start. This year he got off to a good start, but June has been bad to him again. Look at the similarities to last June in this. More strikeouts this year, similar number of RBIs, a couple home runs off. But so far in the Braves uniform, June has not been kind to Dan Uggla. But we all know what kind of a rebound he put together after that.
I'll say this too, though, for Dan, it hasn't affected the way he's handled his defensive assignments. How about the double play he helped turn last night late?
He's a professional. He knows how to separate and not let one part of his game affect the other. He's having some real good rounds of batting practice too. It's not that he's hitting a lot of balls in the cage or grounding a lot of balls back into the screen to the batting practice pitcher. He is having great rounds. Hit one today that bounced into the center field plaza.
And he takes a belt high strike 3. 5th time Dan has struck out in the series.
That looked like a changeup that backed up a little bit. And Dan's miserable June continues.
1 on, 1 out for Freddie Freeman. 5 for 9 with 2 RBIs in this series. And down a strike.
I'm not sure where Santa Clarita, California is. I know it's in the LA area. Of course, Freddie's from down in Orange County. Trevor Bauer's 21 years old. Freddie's 22. You just wonder if they might have crossed paths somewhere in high school.
Up left side, headed toward the Arizona side of the field. Freeman down 2 strikes.
Chan just handed me a map, and I see that Santa Clarita is north of downtown LA. So the chances of these two guys meeting somewhere, probably pretty slim.
Hot shot over first and headed for the right field corner. Chipper around second, on his way to third. Freeman's going to try for two. The throw will be late. And Arizona backs up the play, and the Braves in business with runners at second and third and one out.
Freddie was late on a couple of fastballs, so he obliged by throwing him a hook. So now all 3 hits he's given up have been on off-speed pitches, and that was his curveball that he left up. And good hustle by Freeman here to get into second base.
So Anderson Simmons now the hitter. Batting .325. Great chance for the Braves to score first again tonight.
First good breaking ball he's thrown for a strike. His last start came on the 24th, and they pulled him from that start early against Salt Lake City while pitching for Reno because there was anticipation he would get called up and pitch tonight. He only went 2 2/3 innings, walked a couple, and gave up a run.
Ground ball toward third. Bloomquist cuts it off. And no advance for Chipper Jones. That's the second out. And Braves pitcher Jair Jurgens will hit. And for more on Trevor Bauer, let's join Tom Hart for the first time tonight.
All right, thanks, guys. We've talked a lot about his pregame ritual, and I've got the specifics and the language that he uses if you want. But his goal, he said, is to awaken all his muscles. His quote, "You can't use what's asleep." Kirk Gibson pregame today essentially said to each his own. We want him to be comfortable. I also talked with catcher Miguel Montero. He said pitchers are pitchers. You got to throw strikes. Is Strasburg nasty? Yeah, but he's got to throw strikes. And he added, "I have no idea what to expect from this guy tonight." He only caught him a couple of times during spring training.
Throwing strikes is the goal. He's done that. Of his 29 pitches, Tom, 21 have found the strike zone. He has 2 strikeouts, has allowed 3 hits, but most importantly, no runs yet.
I appreciate Miguel's honesty there, too. Basically saying, I don't know what to expect. He's certainly dotting the corners with his fastball, and that one was at 95.
I know you mentioned the term and the name Tim Lincecum. To me, it reminds me of Roy Oswalt. Same stature, wears the socks very high. And looks like he jumps right at that hitter. He strikes out Jurgens, and the Braves strand runners at second and third and fail to score in the second inning. Top of the third, no score at Turner Field. Our third inning, Trevor Bauer and Jair Jurgens blocking horns tonight, and I'll bet the man joining us in the booth would love a chance to swing at Mr. Trevor Bauer tonight. The one and only Javy Lopez.
Javy'd like to swing at anybody. Just grab a bat.
Give me a bat, please.
You look kind of like that guy we're watching right now. You're still in great shape.
After I retired, the following year I gained about 25 pounds, and I'm like, there's no way. This is only going to get, heavier and heavier. I start working out and got my way back. I lost about 15 pounds, and, I'm trying to stay that way.
You look good.
Thank you.
You gained 25 pounds. It must have been like you're trying to become a broadcaster.
I was in it. Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Don't look like.
Yeah. Now, you've written a book. Tell us about the book, Behind the Plate.
Behind the Plate. This is, thanks to the friends, fans, and family kind of pushing me into reading the book. And with the help of Gary Caruso, we make this happen. A lot of people are kind of wonder, what was Javy, growing up in Puerto Rico, what's he like? Came up with the Braves in minor leagues. What it took me to get to the big leagues, and the whole run with the Braves wasn't easy, but it's all in the in the book, so I can kind of motivate kids to never lose hope or their goal.
Well, you had a better view than anybody else. When we think about all the great pitchers that came through Atlanta, you had the best view of anybody catching all those guys. What a great experience.
Oh, without a doubt.
Chris Young to pop up right side. Freddie Freeman in foul ground is there. And there's your first out. Give us your best story about catching, say, recent Braves Hall of Famer John Smoltz.
John Smoltz. Well, it's always good to catch him just because he got the fastest wind-up in the mound. So that gives me a chance to throw people out in second base. Not only that, he also throw, upper 90s. So there was no chance for the runner to steal a base. He was pretty quick up there. So I love him because of that. And obviously, he was a tremendous pitcher. Strike out a lot of batters. And, it was fun. It was fun catching him.
First big league at bat for Trevor Bauer, and he puts a good swing on that pitch. But he'll be an easy out in left field.
Javy, it's a hot night. It's going to be a hot weekend, and I'm thinking about Brian McCann, of course, and both catchers for both sides. What did you do when the weather warmed up to try to conserve your energy?
Well, drink a lot of Gatorade. I normally have about 3 jerseys waiting for me in the dugout. Every other evening I have to change jersey because I was dripping, soaking wet, and drinking a lot of water and Gatorade. That's the only way I can, stay from dehydration.
Willie Bloomquist is the batter. Talked with Jim Lovell about that, the Braves assistant trainer. He said that the Braves on a night like this will go through about 10 gallons of water, not counting what's already bottled. Another 3 or 4 gallons of Powerade.
Yep.
Just in one game.
Yep.
Luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that. We have air conditioning upstairs.
I know. This is a tremendous setup up here. I've
Not
never
too
been here
shabby,
before.
huh? Right?
Oh, this is great. Love it.
It's a lot easier game.
No wonder
up here.
you've been here for how many years?
90.
And still going, huh?
2 balls, no strikes. Did you ever imagine you'd write a book, Javy?
Never. Never in a million years.
Really?
Never. But it's fun. I had a really good time telling Gary the story. He edited, spent a whole week talking with him about everything. And it was a good way for the family to find out a lot about me.
How long did it take you to come up with the title, the chapters, and really put the book together?
Well, the title was up to the people who actually runs the book, which is Triumph. The company did the title of the book. And it took me about a week chatting with Gary Caruso, and it took almost a whole year for him to edit everything into the book.
Bloomquist with a double with 2 outs keeps the inning alive for Stephen Drew, the Arizona shortstop. We haven't had a chance to read the book. We just got our copy today, and
Good.
looking forward to leafing through it and taking a peek at it and reading it. Some great pictures in this book too.
Oh Lord, don't show that.
Look
please.
at this. Look at this. Maybe we can.
Don't show that, please.
Let's show all the ladies in the Braves country want to know what Javy looked like as a little kid.
I was blonde, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see I was blonde when I was a kid.
Look at that.
No.
The secret's out, pal.
And it's straight hair too. I don't even have to rely on gel like I'm doing right now.
What was it like growing up in Puerto Rico?
It was fun. I mean, obviously I didn't know any better. I really enjoy it. Got a lot of friends down in my neighborhood. You know, no TV. I'm always out of the house playing with my friends. And baseball in the morning, in the afternoon, all the time.
How was your English when you first signed?
Zero.
Zero? Really?
Zero.
Really?
Yeah. I started learning after I signed, with the Braves throughout my, rookie league. And then around, my second year with the Braves, I decided to join one of the American roommates to live with them and learn the language that way. And it was the best thing I ever done because I learned the language so fast. And
by having an English roommate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By having an English roommate. And ever since then, I picked up an American guy to live with.
Well, you sound almost Southern.
He's Southern San Juan.
I don't know what I'm sound like.
Now, how are you with social media? How's your Twitter language? You're going to be doing that, I guess, here in a few minutes. You can go.
You know what? I've never been in Twitter. My wife is in Facebook, and sometimes I chat with some of my family, but I've never been a Twitter guy.
Well, you'll have your chance here.
I have no idea how's that work. How's that?
Oh, don't worry. Megan Swingle will take good care of you. And the fans around Braves country who want to chat with you tonight can go to our @SportsSouth Twitter account and send your questions with the hashtag FSChat. And we have a Javy Lopez Behind the Plate sweepstakes. You can win an autographed copy of his book Behind the Plate by registering, as you see, at Fox Sports South.
That'd be nice. It'll be something new for me.
Well, the fans still love you. I mean, the Braves fans across the country still ask about you when we go on the road. So,
well, I've been very blessed in that aspect. I mean, the fans here has been tremendous. I mean, I cannot ask for a better fan. They've been treating me like, no other. I really appreciate that.
Well, you were good to the fans too.
Try to be my best.
That's slicing down the left field line and fouled and out of play. And Drew's still alive with a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Jair Jurgens has come back strong, Javy, from being in the minor leagues. Had a great outing in Boston, trying to double up on that tonight. I know you can sympathize.
I am so glad to see him come back and come back strong. I guess him going back to the minor leagues, it was a wake-up call for him. So now he's probably gonna take things harder than normal.
But it gets a pop up off the bat of Stephen Drew. Chip Jones is going to catch that. Javy, great to see you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have.
Pleasure
Thank
as
you for
always.
having me
And
here.
good luck with the book. Can't
Appreciate
wait to
it.
read
Thank you so
Behind
much.
the Plate, a catcher's view of the Braves dynasty. It'll be a great read for all of our
Thank
fans around Braves country. @Sports South, Twitter, and FS Chat. The hashtag Javy Lopez will be on the Twitterverse in just a few minutes. Third inning, Atlanta trying to sweep away the Diamondbacks. Again, our thanks to Javy Lopez. Always great to see him at the ballpark. And we hope you'll join us at the ballpark for the July 4th week celebrations here at Turner Field. The Cubs are in town, and 2 fireworks spectaculars await on July 3rd and 4th. They're presented by Publix. Get your tickets at Braves.com or call 800-745-3000. Top of the order, Michael Bourne. And Bauer quickly ahead with strike 1. Amazing statistical feature for Atlanta tonight. Braves are 12-10 in the month of June. But today's game ends a stretch of 42 consecutive games played by this Braves ball club against teams with winning records. Arizona comes in at 37-37. And Joe, the Braves 21-21 in those 42 games.
Well, and that's just a blip. I mean, because tomorrow another team with a winning record comes in Washington, and it's not like the Diamondbacks have dropped below 500. They're right at it. But what a stretch of games against tough competition.
And we looked at the schedule in June knowing that the Yankees and the Red Sox and the AL East and Washington and Arizona, this was going to be a very difficult month for this Atlanta club. That they are above 500 is really good work. And good work from Michael Bourne, who walks to start the third inning. First walk Bauer is allowed tonight.
He thought he had him struck out. Looked like a good curveball. Montero was ready to throw the ball down to third base on the 2-2 pitch. Didn't get the call from Bill Welke. Here's the one they thought was strike 3, and a little bit high for Bill.
Let's see if Michael thinks about some running. Montero, a terrific arm behind the plate. And now a ball high and a meeting on the mound.
Montero out to try to slow him down a little bit. He really does work at warp speed. And Montero's right. He was in 4 games in spring training, 3 starts. Pitched 10 innings and struck out 9 batters, gave up 4 runs. So now is he hurt? Bill Welke stopped Charles Nagy from getting out there, but now the trainer's out to make sure that it's just a check and see visit.
Well, I guarantee you everybody in Arizona's heart is pounding right now, hoping that Bauer's all right.
Well, he landed kind of funny on the last 2 pitches where, especially ball 4, he kind of looked down at the mound where his landing foot would be. And I don't know if that put a little strain on his arm or not. This was the pitch to Jason that was high. There he is looking down. That's when Montero went out.
Ground ball to second. Drew the turn. And in time, Hayward's doubled up. 2 outs.
Naturally, anytime you do something out of the ordinary in baseball in terms of training and preparation, it's going to come under big time scrutiny, just as it did with Tim Lincecum. But if something just the least out of whack goes wrong with Trevor Bauer, there's going to be a lot of people going crazy over the fact that he worked so hard in preparation for each start, even on game day.
Well, this was his routine in college, and this was his routine even as a professional. Remember, he was drafted last year. This year, between AA and AAA, he was 11-1. So something's working.
Well, as Tom Hart said, that Kirk Gibson said, we'll be patient because that's his routine, that's his regimen, so we'll live with it. Basically, reading between the lines until something goes haywire, and then will fix it.
He's 3-0 to Prado, who picked up the first hit of the night for the Braves, a 2-out single in the first inning. Second walk of the inning. Prado's aboard in front of Brian McCann.
He and his teammate from UCLA, Garrett Cole, became just the second teammates to be drafted in the first 3 picks of the draft in one draft. Cole went first to the Pirates, and then Bauer third to the Diamondbacks. First time that had happened since Bob Horner and U.B. Brooks were drafted in the same draft. Top 5 last year. Danny Holtzen went to Seattle. He's about to break into the big leagues with the Mariners. And a couple of high school guys, Bundy and Starling, that are a little bit lower in the minor leagues, have a little more time to go.
No balls, 2 strikes to Brian McCann, who popped to right his first time up.
I liked what Montero said, though, about you got to throw strikes. Doesn't matter who you are. And for most hitters, they would tell you the same thing. I don't care how you get it there. I don't care what your windup looks like or your motion, but you've still got to throw it over the plate, and then I'll be ready when you do.
That's well hit to right. Upton going back at the fence, turns, and it's off the wall. Prado around third is going to be green lighted. The throw, air mails the cutoff man, and the Braves score the game's first run.
I don't know what happened to Martin there. I don't know if he forgot how many outs there were or not, but Brian McCann put a charge in this. Looked like Martin was jogging towards second, okay. And then kind of a funny bounce. Oh, maybe he thought he caught it. That's what happened. He slowed down thinking he caught the ball. Fortunately, the throw was wild from Upton.
You know, those newfangled scoreboards, as great as they are for the fans, those LED lights really can wreak havoc. They do it to broadcasters, they do it to umpires, and sometimes players too. You very easily lose the ball on those, or in those scoreboards. Maybe that's what happened to Prado.
You know what the greatest answer for that is? Brian Snitker standing over there, happy to tell you what to do. He's got a good look at it. Don't watch the ball, you just run.
So the Braves cash in a walk. A Brian McCann RBI double brings up Chipper. And he rolls one foul toward the Braves dugout. 2 balls and a strike. Chipper now a 6-game hitting streak. He's 8 for his last 20. Now the second time through the order for Bauer, his command not nearly as sharp. Now a full count.
22 pitches this inning.
And Chipper is the third base on balls issued by Bauer in the inning. First and second, 2 outs.
No matter how much physical preparation you make and what kind of routine you're in, however long it takes you to get ready for your first big league start, there's still a lot of mental anguish and anticipation that goes into it that'll wear you out too. Not to mention his physical fatigue that I just couldn't believe what I was seeing today.
An hour before the game on a 98-degree afternoon, this guy was preparing for his first big league start.
I mean, he was already in full uniform, had his spikes on in the bullpen, going through all kinds of stretching, yoga type stretches with the rubber bands, the flexi bar, weighted ball, and then the long toss after that. Like you said, it's been working for him, but man, that's a lot of work. There's that flexible bar that he used down in the bullpen. He brought it to the dugout with him.
Good hitters count for Uggla. 2 balls, no strikes. And now 3-0. I mean, to your point, it's almost like a CrossFit workout before he went out to pitch.
It is. Let's see if Freddie gives Dan a green light here. Try to get him out of his slump.
He did.
And Bauer didn't oblige with something, just a fastball down the middle. Something else, maybe a cutter, two-seamer. He's been throwing 94, 95, and that one was 91.
And Uggla hit on a pitch up and in. Bauer's all over the place in this third inning, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
Well, that's the second time Dan's been plunked in the series. He's also been low bridged a couple of times. And that one off the back of the arm. And I think Montero said something to Dan right away on this and asked if he was okay. And Dan said, yes, I'm all right. Don't worry about it. 18 balls, 10 strikes this inning.
And no place to put Freddie Freeman, who has killed Arizona pitching all year. He's 13 for 23, including a double in the second inning tonight.
Well, remember, there were 2 outs and nobody on when all this got started after the double play that Hayward hit into. And a walk got it started.
Good patience by Freeman, who often likes the first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. High fly into shallow left center, but Chris Young is there to make the play. The bases were empty with 2 outs, and then Martin Prado walked. Brian McCann doubled him home for the game's first and only run. And we go to the 4th inning. The Braves lead 1-0. As we move to our 4th inning here at Turner Field in Atlanta. Time for our McDonald's fan of the game, and this one is a beauty.
It sure is, and she's certainly has her Braves paint on her face. That's one thing, but take a look at this. Watch what happens here. Foul ball. This young guy, very nice, gives her the baseball. What does she do? She gives it to the young man in the front row there, or in the row in front of her. How nice was that?
Very cool.
She deserves the fan of the game.
Here's Justin Upton to start the Arizona 4th. Jurgens, a 1-0 lead. And a bullet foul past third. Jair has scattered a couple of hits, 2 doubles to be exact. And a terrific defensive play by Jason Hayward kept Arizona off the scoreboard in the 2nd. And a ground ball to right is a leadoff single.
Well, that was unusual. I mean, I'm not sure what the pitch was. We'll have to see it again, but for him to kind of take a little off his swing and just kind of serve that to right, that's not Upton-like. Pitch was supposed to be in, but it kind of ran to the outer part of the plate. And to his credit, he went with it. You can see how the Braves are playing, and they're expecting a dead pull swing.
Jason Kubel doubled and was thrown out at the plate. Strike one. That's Kirk Gibson, the skipper of the Diamondbacks. Manager of the year last year.
They did something not quite as crazy as what the Rockies did about 3 or 4 years ago with that wonderful September, but they made a great run in the last 6 weeks to win the division, and then took Milwaukee to 7 games. In the division playoff.
The D-backs 5 games behind the Dodgers and the Giants. San Francisco has caught Los Angeles out west. And the Dodgers were shut out in 3 straight games by the Giants.
If you're a third place club like they are, and a good one, there's nothing you like better if you do find yourself 5 games back than to have the teams at the top playing each other and competing hard nose to nose, so that gives you a chance to maybe sneak up on them. Hoping they're worried about each other and don't pay attention to you.
After tonight's game, Arizona will fly up to Milwaukee to play the Brewers. We've got Washington here tomorrow night. Ryder Upton leaves from first. McCann's throw on time and on the money.
Little help for Jair tonight. Hayward throws one out at the plate, and the Home Depot tools in the dugout. Brian McCann with another good throw. He made a great throw last night to get Parra. This is another beauty, and all Simmons had to do was drop the glove on him. another angle. Exmo. Well, the tag was on the back knee, but the throw right on the money, and the benefit of the doubt went to Brian McCann.
That's the 7th time Upton's been thrown out trying to steal a base this year, and the 29th time a Diamondback runner has been caught. They've been successful 45 times. And that clears the bases. And Kubel, a 3-2 pitch coming.
Kirk Gibson talked about this last year when they made it to the postseason, about how I want my players to be aggressive. I want them to be loose. I want them to have a good time. But I want them to play the game the right way. And
Popped
you can
up.
do both.
Long run Simmons. Andrelton still going. He overran it but made the play.
That's not exactly the way he had that plan, but he is having such a good time. What a recovery here. He called everybody off, and then whoop, no problem. He got there quicker than he thought he needed to. It was a fair ball, too.
2 outs for Goldschmidt. He grounded out to second. And now a line drive to right, and it drops in front of Hayward. Goldschmidt 1 for 2 in the game. Want to thank Javy Lopez again for joining us in the booth tonight. He's headed down to our Fox suite for his takeover of Twitter. He'll be chatting live with you from our @SportsSouth Twitter account. Send us your questions to the hashtag FSChat.
Saw Brian Jordan in there as well. He must have food in there. Brian will be coming down to the booth now any minute.
That was Joe, Brian, just for the record. Here's Montero with 2 outs and ball 1 outside. Last year, Miguel Montero led all National League catchers, doubles, RBIs, and extra base hits. And if you're a casual fan of baseball, you'd be shocked by that. He does not get the amount of publicity I think he deserves for his work, not just with the bat, but behind the plate.
No, we've been bragging on him in this series for the fans in this part of the country. And I mean, I'm not sure that I'm ready to put him on par defensively with Yadier Molina, but he's approaching that kind of status in terms of defensive ability. He's a good one.
Jurgens has been sitting on 89 with his fastball. That one was in a good spot. And Montero behind 1-2. In the air to center. Michael Bourne's got that. Jurgens allows 2 singles, but nothing across for the Diamondbacks. Good Atlanta defense. One of the highlights, a circus catch by Andrelton Simmons. To you in part by Ford, by the Home Depot, and by AT&T. Atlanta looks to add to a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. And friends, FoxSportsSouth.com continues to get you geared up for the start of football season. The race seems wide open for the top running back in the SEC. Will it be Marcus Lattimore coming back from injury, or could it be a brand new starter? Check out the preseason rankings on FoxSportsSouth.com. Trevor Bauer could use an easy inning. The Braves touched him for the game's first run, but really made him work in the third inning. 3 walks and a hit batsman, and Brian McCann's RBI double.
Now got his pitch count up to 61 entering this inning. Through 30 pitches in all.
A strike to Simmons.
He's using both a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer, and the 4-seamer is in the upper to lower to mid 90s, and that 2-seamer seems to be kind of hovering right around 90-91 with some pretty good tailing action to it.
Driven to right. Upton going back. Still going back, and that's off his glove and off the wall. Simmons around second, stops there.
Not to take anything away from Andrelton Simmons because he hit that ball with some authority, but Upton had a hard time on this one. I don't know if he didn't pick it up. I do know he got a bad jump on it, but he was also playing very shallow. So all those things coupled together, and maybe not respecting Andrelton Simmons' ability to drive the ball the other way, puts the Braves in business again.
6th double for Simmons. And a bunt attempt coming for Jurgens, one would presume. Jurgens with 2 sacrifices this season. Bunt popped straight back over the screen into the seats.
Let's take a look at his windup and make some comparisons, if you will, Chip, to Lincecum, because there is some similarity the way he turns right here, has that shoulder kind of pointed down. But look at the long stride, certainly out over that front leg in a good positive way, but that real long stride, much like Lincecum, fires at you when he steps to you.
The bunt is past Goldschmidt, who overran it, but he recovers to get Jurgens at first. But a good sacrifice.
That was funny.
Never seen that before.
That was funny. Goldschmidt was bound and determined to get on that bunt and cut down the runner trying to go to third base, but he didn't have the baseball. Look how close he is. And what? Oh. Never expected that to happen, did he? Good job by JJ.
Infield in for Arizona. Michael Bourne, the batter. He has struck out and walked.
Braves are unable to get that runner in from third with 1 out in the second inning when Simmons grounded out into the drawn-in infield. But last night, Michael had a sacrifice fly, one of 2 the Braves picked up last night. And there was the 91 fastball with some movement, trying to get a ground ball here.
Michael with 26 RBIs on the season. And he takes high and tight.
Say this, the ball jumps out of his hand when he wants it to. When he wants to throw that 4-seamer. And he's been buzzing some guys up and in all night. It's got some life on it.
Braves really making him work. Remember, at one point he was 21 strikes, 8 balls. He's at 39 strikes, 30 balls now. And a 3-1 pitch. High pop. Young in center.
Got to try it.
Simmons at third tags. Young's throw is tailing up the third base line. A sac fly. Give Bourne his 27th RBI, and Atlanta's lead is now 2-0.
"23 sacrifice flies on the year for Atlanta now, and Young's throwing. And I gotta figure his right shoulder, the one that's been injured, has definitely been affected on his throwing, because that's nowhere near a Chris Young type throw. That didn't have much on it at all, and he wasn't very deep.
So 2 runs on 5 hits for the Braves. Bases clear, 2 outs. 27 RBIs for Bourne. His big league high was 50. He did that last season, and he's well ahead of that pace. Out of the leadoff spot for Atlanta. Michaels also scored 50 times.
That's Patrick Corbin, who was also just called up when they sent Deo down. Abaladejo.
Popped up toward third. And that will be handled by Bloomquist.
Abaladejo.
We're not going to even try to pronounce it backwards. We have enough trouble pronouncing it forwards. 2-0 after 4.
For this game, the only Brave who had faced Trevor Bauer was Andrelton Simmons. Bauer pitched twice against the Mississippi Braves this season. Simmons was still banged up the first time. The second time he got a hit against him. In fact, a lot of the Braves did. He went just 5 2/3 in Double-A, 8 hits, 6 runs, walked 3 and struck out 9 in a 7-1 Mississippi Southern League victory against Bauer, which remains up until now his only professional loss this season. He's 11-1 coming into this one.
Well, Atlanta would love to hang his first big league loss on him tonight, and leading 2-0 in the 5th. Hill, Young, and the pitcher's spot scheduled for Arizona. Just missed. Ball 2. The Phillies lost today. The Nationals lost today. The Mets are in Los Angeles later. Braves could pick up a game in the standings if they can finish off the sweep. And a high fly ball foul and down by the Arizona bullpen.
As we saw last night, these guys are a quick strike team. So even though Bauer's had trouble with his command and he's behind 2-0, that's really nothing to these guys, for the Diamondbacks.
Pop fly back toward us. Quick strike because they hit a lot of homers. In fact, Arizona's homered in 8 consecutive games. They started this series 4th in the National League in average, 6th in runs, and 5th in homers. But they're going tough for them so far at the start of their 2-city road trip. Fly ball center. Michael Bourne will have plenty of room. Aaron Hill is the first out of the 5th inning.
Braves are 5-1 against Arizona this year, and they've won 6 straight against them here at Turner Field dating back to last season. And in those games, the Braves' run differential is plus 31 with 14 homers. That's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. And they really have been beating up on Arizona pitching over the last couple of years.
Here's Young. Second start since coming back from the minors for Jurgens. He's through the lineup now twice. Your impressions of his effort in the 5th inning?
I don't think he's quite as sharp as he was in Boston, but it's hard to argue with a 4-hit shutout right now through 4 innings. You know, he's had some defensive help. Just remember Hayward gunned down Kubel at the plate. Nice plays in the outfield. Guys running some balls down. The circus catch by Simmons. McCann throwing out a guy at second.
Gerardo Parra's on deck. It would appear Trevor Bauer's night will come to a close in this 5th inning. A lot of pitches over the last 2 frames for the young Arizona righty. And foul past Matt Williams. Still a 1-2 count to Chris Young. In the air to right. Long run for Hayward near the line. He gets there with those big strides. Young pops out. And indeed, that's the end of the night for Trevor Bauer. He goes 4 innings and allows 2 runs in his first major league start.
Not all that bad and not all that unusual in terms of his line with his walks. That was one of the things we talked about tonight or mentioned in his 4 keys to success were walks. And he walked 3 in 1 inning and 1 of them scored. So all in all, not a bad night for his debut.
Gerardo Parra's the hitter, batting .272. And Jurgens a first pitch strike.
4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 hit batter.
Little tapper back to the mound, and Jurgens is through 5 with a shutout. Part of the order up for the Braves, looking to extend a 2-0 lead. Major League game, but the Braves enjoying it a little more than a young right-hander so far. On our Blimpie game summary, the Braves lead 2-0 here in the home half of the 5th.
Good work by Jair. He's had some good defensive help behind him. McCann with a big RBI double to get the Braves on the board first. But how about this defensive play on the great throw from Jason Hayward back in the 2nd inning to gun down Jason Kubel at the plate. I mean, just a beauty. That gave Brian McCann enough time to block the plate. And then Brian followed that up with an RBI double in the 3rd inning that plated Martin Prado, who had walked. And then last inning, after a leadoff double by Simmons, he's at 3rd after a bunt by Jurgens. Michael Bourne with a sac fly makes it 2-0, and that's where we are.
And a new pitcher on the hill for Kirk Gibson. It's left-hander Patrick Corbin. He's 22 years old and a starting pitcher throughout his professional career, working out of the pen for the Diamondbacks right now.
Boy, 6 games. Oh, that was at Reno. I beg your pardon. AAA numbers. Yeah, you're going to rack up some decisions. 6 starts, 3-2 record. A lot of strikeouts. Out of Clay, New York. Originally with the Angels, came over from the Angels in the Dan Herron trade. Okay, Chan, where's Clay, New York?
Martin Prado to start things off. He's got a perfect night at the plate. And a belt high strike. Line drive into left field. That's down for a leadoff single. Prado 2 for 2, his 30th multi-hit game of the season.
And he's been on base 3 times, walked the other time and scored a run. Tried to come in on him with a fastball, and that's a no-no.
And time for our AT&T Uverse trivia question. No, it's not where's Clay, New York.
But we're 2 for 2, you know.
2 for 2. Named the last starting pitcher to win the National League Rookie of the Year.
Oh. Well, I know one, and I was disgusted by it. Hideo Nomo.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. One, he had
won like 150 games in Japan before he came out of the U.S. and the other was because he beat out Chipper. Oh, Brandon Webb. Been one since then.
See, I guessed Brandon Webb on a trivia question earlier in this series, and that's usually the kiss of death. That means that name's off the table. The name that came to mind for me was Mark Pryor, but I can't remember if he won the Rookie of the Year or not with the Cubs. Good breaking ball, and McCann took it for a called third strike.
By the way, Clay, New York, north of Syracuse. I didn't think anything was north of Syracuse.
But they have a great winter baseball program.
You know it. He grew up throwing snowballs and really made his arm strong. That was a good hook right there.
Here's Chipper. He's singled and walked. 6-game hit streak for the Braves third baseman. There you see Chipper on our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
And most all of those, there's some interchangeable names, but Eddie Murray, Pete Rose, Mickey Mantle, and when you're in that kind of company, it's a very nice list.
Now Chipper chasing down a couple of third basemen on the all-time RBI list. Mike Schmidt and George Brett. And he'll reach after Drew couldn't handle a bouncer to short. Braves have 2 on with 1 out.
That'll be an error on Steven, but that's a tough error. That was a bad hop. Routine, easy ground ball, and then out of nowhere it just came up on him. Boom. Got him right in the chest, but couldn't keep it in front of him.
That scored a fielder's choice and an error on Drew. And now Dan Uggla bats with 2 on and 1 out. Dan has struck out, was hit by a pitch. Would Kerry Wood be a good guess? Surely there was a rookie in the National League.
Yeah, I like
after
that.
Kerry Wood. He debuted in '98 with the Cubs. One ball, 1 strike to Uggla. Did Tim Lincecum ever win the Rookie of the Year? Some have compared Bauer to Lincecum.
Well, that's Dan's pitch. May have been a little bit high, but when he's missing that one, you know he's scuffling a little bit, especially from a left-hander. Although his numbers against lefties have not been all that great all year long. He's hit better against right-handers.
And he is called out on strikes for the second time. He disagrees, thought it was too tight. But Corbin has his second strikeout of the inning. 2 on, 2 out. Hope you're playing a boys' night out at Turner Field with the new Braves Buddy Pack. Get as many as 12 tickets to a game, and every ticket comes preloaded with a $15 credit for food and drinks. Visit Braves.com/buddy today to get your Buddy Pack tickets. Washington's here tomorrow night and through the weekend. Then the Cubs here for 4 in a row over the 4th of July.
Our buddy Chan over here, our stat guy who's always on top of everything in the game. Least little nuance. Trevor Bauer, hour and a half warm up. He was in the game an hour and a half.
That ricochets into the stands past the Braves dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's cold. That's really pretty cold.
I noticed too when you asked him where Clay, New York was, he kind of threw the map at you.
He did.
Not sure what that's all about, but
Just glad it wasn't plaster of Paris, Illinois that we were looking for.
2 balls and a strike. Braves are trying to sweep Arizona.
He's got a good fastball. He's been 91, 92. And nice spot for that one right on the outside corner.
Slow roller hit toward Hill at second. And Aaron makes the play, and that retires the side. The Braves have left 8 men on base through 5 innings, but lead the Diamondbacks 2-0. Atlanta leads the Diamondbacks by a 2-0 score, and we hope you'll join us Sunday with Fox Sports South partnering with the Braves to give a special tribute to the troops. Join us as we say thank you to our nation's armed forces during our Braves Nationals broadcast. Don't miss Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South beginning at 1 with Braves Live. The day's events will include a hero's welcome on the red carpet at the ballpark. The gates will open at 11:30 and we'll welcome our heroes to the ball game. Georgia Governor Nathan Deal, Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed will have messages for our servicemen and women who will line the base paths for a pregame salute from the teams and the fans here at the ballpark.
It's always a great day. Fox Sports South, the Braves always combine on a good one for that one. It was wonderful last year. I remember last year too, you wore your camo sport coat. It was 3 innings before I even knew you were here.
Line drive into right, and that drops in front of Hayward. Bloomquist has his second hit of the game. And the tying run potentially comes to the plate for Arizona, and Stephen Drew is that man. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. We approach 9 o'clock in the East. Joe and Chip, along with Tom Hart at Turner Field. Game 3 of the series between Atlanta and Arizona.
Jayer's done a real good job tonight, like he did in Boston, of keeping the ball down. You haven't seen, I don't think, more than a pitch or two that's really been elevated anywhere near belt high. And he's got to continue to do that in a close game, especially with this part of their order.
Well, he has recorded 10 fly ball outs in this game. And on a hot, breezy night, very good work to keep Arizona off the scoreboard at this point.
That throw almost handcuffed Freddie Freeman. Not so much that Jair threw him a 95-mile-an-hour fastball over there, but remember, Freddie tries to catch the ball in just the right place because of his finger. Watch him try to turn his glove here and then kind of move his body out of the way to give with it a little bit.
Can't really see it because his finger's covering it up, but there is a foam pad underneath that left index finger on his glove to help soften the cushion of those throws. And talking with Freddie before the game, he said finger's a little sore today, and he said that the more he plays, the sorer it gets, but nothing he said he can't manage, and he knows it's probably going to be there till the off season. I mean the discomfort, not the finger. Right. The finger's going to be there forever, we hope.
Right, and I don't want to equate it to a jam finger because it was more serious than that. But anyone who's ever had a jam finger knows how that big knuckle can swell, and it just takes forever for all that swelling to go away, even when you're not playing Major League Baseball. And it's going to take a while, and as he mentioned the other day, maybe Christmas before, in the off season before it is completely gone, the swelling that is.
2-2 to Drew. Runner goes, good jump, and a ground ball to second will keep Arizona out of a double play. Bloomquist at second with one out. Georgia Power customers can get a free in-home energy audit performed by an energy expert from Georgia Power. Learn how to save money and energy around your home. Schedule an in-home energy audit. Go to GeorgiaPower.com. New set of signs, perhaps?
Could be. Wouldn't hurt to change things up. Also to talk about this guy. Upton, remember, went the other way on a pretty good pitch last time. That was the first hit for Upton, by the way, against Jair Jurgens in his career. He's now 1 for 8, 1 for 9.
And he had a good cut there, strike one.
Durbin and Venners just in case. Only at 83 pitches, but it is warm. And he hasn't had but one, we'll make it 2, 1, 2, 3 innings, the first and the fifth. Oh, good pitch. Jair wanted that one.
Crowd lets Bill Welke hear about that. 2 balls and a strike.
Never had the plate.
Nor did that pitch. 3-1.
Be careful here. I know he's the tying run. You don't want to put him on by pitching around him a little bit, but it's really got to be a good pitch. And it was. Change up to the outside corner. Beauty. Got another one. That's what he was able to do in Boston, to both sides of the plate with that change up, straight change.
And he loses Upton. A 1-out walk puts 2 runners aboard for Jason Kubel.
Decision time here for Freddie Gonzalez. He's got Venners in the bullpen ready. And the left-handed hitter. But a guy, Kubel, who doesn't really hit that many ground balls. He hasn't hit into that many double plays. We were talking about that last night. He's a guy who likes to lift the ball.
5 double plays for Kubel and 251 at bats. But a dangerous part of the lineup. 2 on, 1 out. And a rocket hit to right center field. Hayward on the run's not going to get that. Bloomquist around third will score. Here comes Upton around third. He too will score. And you mentioned quick strike. Arizona does just that. A double ties this game in the 6th inning.
Well, you start getting a little uncomfortable when the Braves are leaving so many men on base tonight. This was a change up that stayed up. We talked about how he hadn't made many mistakes above the belt or above the knees tonight. There's one, and Kubel didn't miss it. 49 RBIs for him, and he's continuing a torrid June.
.26 RBIs this month now for the Arizona left fielder.
Big play in this inning was Kirk Gibson sending Bloomquist on a 2-2 count to stay out of a double play and have Drew hit a ground ball that might have been a double play had he not been running.
So even though they get thrown out a lot, you said Kirk Gibson likes his team to play aggressively. And it paid off with a 2 RBI hit for Kubel.
He's now got 26 RBIs this month. Well, that's player of the month type stuff.
Chipper at third, fair ball, long throw, good stretch. 2 outs. And no advance by Kubel. He's at second for Montero.
Big at bat right here for Jurgens, in that the go-ahead run's still in scoring position. He made a good pitch on Goldschmidt.
This is something Fredi Gonzalez also charged his starting staff to do. There will be innings where you are in trouble. Pitch your way out of it. Save our bullpen. And with Jurgens' spot due up second in the bottom of this 6th inning, you know Fredi would like to see JJ get out of this frame and then maybe go to his bench.
Well, the return of Stephen Drew to their lineup has done a lot of similar things to what has happened to the Braves with the return of Chipper and Freddie Freeman, in that he juggled his lineup a little bit. Did Kirk Gibson. He's got Montero hitting 6th, Aaron Hill hitting 7th, and those guys are swinging good bats deep in the lineup.
All of a sudden, 3 balls, no strikes to the Diamondbacks catcher. That one gets away from McCann, and Kubel will move to third. Montero's at first with 2 outs. It's a walk and a wild pitch, allowing Kubel to move into scoring position, or move further into scoring position, I should say. And that's going to be the last pitch of the game for Jair Jurgens. He cannot get through the 6th inning. Fredi Gonzalez, though, will take the ball. Jurgens gets the pat on the back and departs in a tie game. 2-2 your score. The Braves bullpen in play as the Diamondbacks continue their 6th inning. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Georgia Power, and by Nissan. Tie game at 2, 6th inning. Chad Durbin is on in relief of Jair Jurgens, who had 5 2/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs so far, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. Braves fans will be even happier if Chad Durbin, after answering our AT&T call to the bullpen, can stop this inning with Aaron Hill in the batter's box.
This is when he's been at his best this year, is coming in the middle of an inning with runners on and leaving them out there. He's inherited 20 runners, only 2 have scored, and that percentage 5th best in the National League. And he's had a few days rest too. He hasn't pitched since the 24th at Boston.
Hill sporting an 8-game hit streak. And looks at ball 1 low. Chad hoping to make it 20 of 22.
for 8 against him in his career with a couple of strikeouts. That's a pitch that's really benefited him. I mean, he had a bad spring, got released by Washington. The Braves sign him. He gets off to a really rough start with Atlanta, gave up some long balls. But he's really gotten better and better with a cutter. That might have been a changeup, straight change, but he's developed a cutter that's been working great for him.
Missed down and in to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Freeman will now play behind Montero at first. He will be off with the pitch. Full count. Chris Young on deck. 2 across for Arizona. They've got the game tied. And a foul ball over the Braves dugout. We'll reach the seats.
I know they ran 1 pitch in on him. 2-1. I wouldn't go in there again.
Hill takes a called 3rd strike. Nice job by Chad Durbin. Strands 2 more runners.
Sure did. 92 fastball too. Just buzzed him. In time for the Coors Light freeze camp and the cold train. How about some defense tonight for you? 2nd inning, great throw by Jason Hayward. Brian McCann waiting on Jason Kubel. That saved a run. You might say this saved a run. Great throw by Brian McCann to get Justin Upton, who could have scored on a base hit by Goldschmidt, who followed right after that. Circus catch by Andrelton Simmons to rob Kubel of a hit. Wonderful defense played by the Braves tonight. That's Coors Light freeze camp, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So the offense will start over. 2-2 game. The hits are even at 6-6 as well. Diamondbacks guilty of the game's lone error. And the Braves 6th starts with Andrelton Simmons, who's doubled and scored tonight. Big cut and fouled straight back. Simmons now with a streak of hits in 5 of his last 6 games. Scored a run tonight, scored a run last night, scored a run in game 1. And this time rolls to second. 1 out. Fans, make sure you visit the Braves clubhouse store at CNN Center, where you'll now find the all-new Chipper Nose t-shirts by Nike. Stop by the Braves clubhouse store at CNN Center for this shirt and more great Braves merchandise, or call 404-523-5854.
Chipper Nose t-shirt, huh?
Jack Wilson pinch hits. He 2 grounds to Aaron Hill. 2 quick outs.
Well, the 2 runs in the top of the inning took Trevor Bauer off the hook for a loss in his first big league game.
Remember, Corbin is a guy who started. He can take the ball deep for the Diamondbacks if needed. Although his spot's due second in the 7th. Braves pinch hit for Durbin. Looks like Chris Medlin will be next out of the Atlanta pen.
And he can work multiple innings. Corbin looks good, though, and his fastball's getting in on some guys. Maybe a little sneaky quick.
1-2.
6'2", 185 pounds. Now to where, Chip?
Clay, New York, where we still don't know what happens in Clay, New York. We know where it is.
A lot of lake effect snow there.
Yeah. Probably a great strawberry festival. Goldschmidt at first takes it to the bag. And that retires the Braves in order in the 6th inning. 8-9-1 coming up in the Arizona 7th. 2-2 your score. Blocking. Okay. Braves go head-to-head with the first-place Washington Nationals. Our coverage of that series begins on Peachtree TV. First pitch, 7:35 Eastern Time. And here's our Jameson in upcoming series notes.
That team ERA took a hit today. They got beat 11-10, but tied for first in the major leagues with 50 quality starts already. The Braves have how many? 31?
31. Make it 32 tonight with Jurgens.
And the last 14 games in Atlanta, they have owned the Braves 9-5. That's got to change. Averaging 5.5 runs a game.
Actually, Jurgens didn't get through 6 innings, so it's not a quality start for Jair. But he kept the Braves in the ball game. Game tied 2-2, 7th inning, and it's Chris Medlin time. He answers the AT&T call to the bullpen. And he'll face Chris Young, and then we'll see for Arizona. Young pops up the first pitch. Chipper Jones near the Arizona on deck circle will not have a play. Strike one.
Laura McDonald's fan of the game might get a baseball of her own over there. Nope, not that time.
He was ready, though. And that little girl was our fan earlier. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chipper gives ground at third. 1 out. Tom?
Well, guys, I just got back from 3 fantastic innings with our friends in the Tweet Suite tonight down in the Bobby Cox Suite. And speaking of Twitter, here's one. Peter Moylan, first game Saturday. There's 7 exclamation points. I traded text with our friend Rocket Wheeler, managing the Gulf Coast Braves. Today, he said Peter will get out there and start the game Saturday. They'll see how he does.
Great. That's wonderful news.
7 exclamation points. I guess he's excited. We're excited, too. It'll be great to get Peter back. That'll be a nice lift for the ball club. Another option for the Braves bullpen, we hope, at some point after the All-Star break. As Corbin stays in the game and is quickly down 2 strikes.
Medlin, I reply.
And he strikes out Corbin on 3 pitches. His first strikeout, 2 away in the 7th inning. So, Tom, how busy was the Bobby Cox suite with all the Twitterers down there?
That place was full of hashtags.
And I guess Javy Lopez had a good time down there.
He did. Second most popular person in the suite next to Elizabeth Morrow. There is Javy, hard at work.
And then
having a tweet session online with the folks who couldn't make it out. And, you know, when you go to a tweet up, as you call it, it's never rude to bury yourself in your phone because that's what you're doing. So you're talking to some people and you're tweeting to others who may just be sitting right next to you.
Maybe the biggest upset of the night. Javy surrounded by 2 pretty girls in the booth.
Yeah, shocker.
Yep. See? She's tweeting that Medlin's going to throw a strike to Bloomquist. It's amazing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Be nice if she could tweet that he's going to get a comebacker and get out of this inning. Trying to explain to her boyfriend that what a comebacker means.
See, that means when he hits the ball back to the pitcher, and it's an easy throw to first. I think he's got it.
Yeah.
Fly ball to right. Not a comebacker. But Hayward makes the play, and Chris Medlin retires the side in order. 7th inning stretch time. And guess who's going to start things off? The man that made that catch, Jason Hayward. He'll be followed by Martin Prado, Brian McCann, and we hope many more in our tie game at Turner Field. There's the story tonight. Braves up for the bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-2 game.
Neither starting pitcher will factor in the decision. Trevor Bauer in his major league debut goes 4 innings. Jair Jurgen in his first start at home since coming back pitches into the 6th. Brian McCann with a big RBI double. Jason Kubel had the big blow for the Diamondbacks. A 2-run double in the 6th inning, his second double of the night. So we're tied 2-2, and it's turned over to the bullpens. And so far, Patrick Corbin's done a very nice job for the Snakes.
So our score tonight is 2-2. We are 2-4-2 on trivia
Yes,
so
we
far
are.
on homestand. And we didn't forget about our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Who was the last starting pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year in the National League?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Hideo Nomo just to cover us, because we know that's right, but we don't know if anybody's come along in between.
I had a Cub theme going earlier,
Okay.
and a name just hit me. Dontrelle Willis.
Okay. You going to stick with that?
Yes, I'm sticking with it.
Woohoo! Awesome. I feel kind of like when Juan Pierre signed a free agent contract and he and Dontrelle Willis were best pals, and Dontrelle called Juan and said, "We're rich." Yeah. That's the way I feel with you getting it right.
Miracles, though, happen every once in a while. Yep, Dontrelle Willis was the Rookie of the Year. And with that answer, what does that make us on the homestand?
Pretty much perfect, 3 for 3.
Yep.
He won the award in 2003. Angel Baroa won the American League Rookie of the Year that year.
Where'd he go?
I don't know.
And Jason Hayward starts it off for Atlanta. Jason's 12-game hit streak on the line tonight. He is 0 for 3 in the series wrap-up with Arizona. I like this guy, Corbin.
Yeah, he looks good. And he's perfect for what they needed tonight, in that he's a starter, or at least has been in the minor leagues.
What's Jason going to get with a 3-1 count?
I'm going to say that fastball low and away that was so effective to Freeman, his last at bat. Right in that area. And I didn't even tweet. Same thing. Oh, breaking ball. 3-2 breaking ball. Wow.
Third strikeout and a good start to the 7th for Corbin.
Some confidence and trusting your catcher.
Jason upset at striking out, but I'll bet he's madder about the second strike pitch. He's the first out. Here's Martin. 2 singles, a walk, and a run. 30th multi-hit game of the season for Prado, who settled in very nicely in that number 3 spot in the Braves batting order. In this series, Prado is 5 for 10, hitting third. Ooh, good cut. 2-2.
Clay, New York. Got some info.
Please. I might want to go there in the offseason.
It used to be known as Cicero back in the 1700s, but its most famous son,
Henry Clay.
well, it was named after Henry Clay.
Clay Matthews.
You'll never get it.
No.
Richard Gere, the actor.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Pop fly foul.
Are you happy with that, or do I need to get the gross national product?
What was the high school? Best high school, and the high school nickname? In Clay, New York.
Cougars.
I mean, you were right. I mean, convincingly, Clay High School Cougars. We're going with it. Fly ball foul by Prado, 2-2.
Two years ago, this guy was in 3 different stops: Cedar Rapids, Rancho Cucamonga, and Visalia, and he combined to go 13-4. And last year at Mobile in AA, he went 9-8. All starts.
You mentioned the Dan Herron deal. Joe Saunders came over in that trade. Tyler Skaggs, another left-hander. Right-hander Rafael Rodriguez, and left-hander Patrick Corbin.
Well, this guy's got a chance to be in the rotation. He's only 22. He's certainly shown well tonight.
Ground ball right side. Goldschmidt fields. Hits his pitcher on the run. And Corbin to the bag for the second out. Don't forget, fans, voting ends tonight at midnight for the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City. Help send your favorite Braves to the Midsummer Classic. You can vote up to 25 times. At last count, Dan Uggla was still the leader at second base for the Braves. But still time for you to improve the candidacies of Freddie Freeman, Jason Hayward, Chipper Jones, and others. And don't forget, the All-Star Game will be seen on Big Fox. And the All-Star Game, July 10th. And coverage of first pitch starts at 8 Eastern from Kansas City. Foul ball by Brian McCann. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Those are such great fans in Kansas City, and makes me wonder who their representative or representatives might be. Jeff Francour's had a pretty good year. He might be a selection. Here's another one in on somebody's hands. His fastball's got some movement, and it's sneaky.
He's impressive. 8 straight, make it 8 straight retired by Corbin, and our game's still tied at 2. Scoreboard 2-2 is our score through 7 innings.
If you just joined us, we'll show you a recap of how this game has gotten to the 2-2 mark. Runner at first, 2 out. Brian McCann double off the wall. Plated Martin Prado all the way from first. 4th inning. After a leadoff double by Andrelton Simmons, he moved to third on a bunt and scored on the sacrifice fly by Michael Bourne. Braves up 2-0 until the 6th. And then the Diamondbacks went to work
And Jason Kubel with his second double of the night. This one drove in 2 runs and tied the game. But he was left stranded at third as the Diamondbacks left runners at first and third that inning when Chad Durbin struck out Aaron Hill to get out of the jam. And now Chris Medon in his second inning of work against the heart of their order.
And it starts with Stephen Drew, who's 0 for 3 and 1 for 7 since coming back from the disabled list. This game for Atlanta, a bit frustrating from an offensive standpoint. The Braves have been averaging right around 6 runs a game of late, but have left 8 men on base tonight.
And 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Two balls and a strike. Washington already lost. They are making their way to Atlanta for the series opener tomorrow night. And Drew to short. Simmons, 1 out. So if Atlanta can win this one and sweep Arizona, they would start the series with the first place Nationals just 2.5 games back.
And on a roll.
Yeah.
That feels so much better going into that series. If you sweep this red hot team that came to town in Arizona and have a good chance of doing that.
Upton has singled, walked, and scored tonight. There's a strike and the count even. Phillies were beaten tonight, or actually today. Pittsburgh beat them 5-4. A.J. Burnett's won 8 in a row for the Pirates.
That was a great pickup, wasn't it? And the Pirates scored 5 runs in the first inning and won 5-4. The Phillies left a runner at third to end the game. The Phillies are now 0-33 when they trail after 8 innings.
And Pittsburgh, which had a very difficult early season schedule, has now won 20 of their last 31 games.
Good for them.
Their victory tonight. Pirates have 40 wins. And Pittsburgh now a game and a half behind Cincinnati.
Reds can't shake them. And the Reds are now out in San Francisco to begin a series tonight against a hot Giants team that shut out the Dodgers 3 straight nights.
And is tied for first out west. Another chance at short. Simmons has that one roll up his arm. Had a long way to go. Couldn't field it cleanly, and we'll see how they score that. It's a hit.
He wants another crack at that one. That ball came up just a little bit. He was there, had a great chance to make the play, but it just came up enough to go off the heel of his glove.
2-hit game for Upton, a 2-double game for Kubel, including the game tying hit in the 6th. When we saw these guys in Arizona, we thought that this man would have a big year because of the uppercut swing you're talking about, but because of the home park in which he plays and the light air, I mean, he's going to hit a ton of homers and drive in a ton of runs. He's already doing that with Don Baylor as the hitting coach.
He's a better outfielder than I gave him credit for being, too.
He's got 10 assists. Former Minnesota Twin. high fly toward left, but playable for Martin in the corner. And 2 outs. Mentioned tomorrow night's series opener with Washington. It's a 7:35 start. We'll have fireworks after the game. And these are your Chevron upcoming starters.
Big series. Ross Detweiler, a lefty, goes tomorrow. 4-3 with a 3.09 ERA. I believe the Braves, have to double check. I believe they beat him in a matchup in Washington last time they saw him. And Randall Delgado, who's coming off his shortest outing ever against Boston. 4-8 with a 4.52. He's due for a good one.
Well, if they did beat Detweiler, that's the only win Atlanta has against the Nationals this year.
I'm pretty sure it was against him.
Washington's 4-1 against the Braves. They've played 2 series. One of those games in D.C. was rained out, you recall. A ball to Goldschmidt, who's 1 for 3.
The win actually came, I'm wrong, it was against Gio Gonzalez who started that game.
He hasn't lost many, has he?
No. He only went 4 2/3 innings that day, and it was the last game played between the two teams.
Ryan Snitker positioning the Braves defense. And a 2-0 count to Goldschmidt.
Trying to get Prado to move over too. And he does. Outfield deep with 2 out. Late in the ball game, tie game. Don't want anything hit over your head. You concede a single, but you don't want to give up a double that might score the go-ahead run.
Nice rally by Medlin from 3-0 now to 3-2. Let's see if he can finish off the inning. Braves bullpen is busy again. Eric O'Flaherty and Anthony Varvaro are loosening. And Medlin loses Goldschmidt. 2 on, 2 out. Will Medlin face Montero? Freddy Gonzalez to the top step. And the answer is no. Arizona threatening in the 8th. Game tied 2-2. Back to Turner Field in a flash. By the Georgia Lottery and by McDonald's. The 8th inning continues for the Diamondbacks. 2-2 is our score. 2 on and 2 out. And the AT&T call to the bullpen, a lefty-lefty matchup. Miguel Montero the hitter, Eric O'Flaherty on to pitch.
Mentioned that Chad Durbin is 5th in the National League in inherited runners percentage. Stranded, Eric O'Flaherty is 2nd. 14 of the 15 that he has inherited have been stranded. And over his last 21 games, a 1.45 ERA. He did face Montero last night. And remember that nifty double play started by Dan Uggla? It was after a pitch by O'Flaherty to Montero.
Roller off the fists. Freeman's got it. Eric to the bag. One pitch ends the Arizona 8th. The Diamondbacks strand a pair, and we head to the home half. The inning will start with Chipper Jones, then Dan Uggla, then Freddie Freeman. Thunder coming up for Atlanta, tied at 2.
Here at Turner Field, talked to Kirk Gibson today. He said he knows exactly what Chipper's going through this season.
Well, watching him play this series, I asked myself, why is he retiring? Obviously, I think physically, I remember how it felt after 17 years, and this is, I think, his 19th year. So I know he feels it that way, but he's very smooth, and he knows how to get the bat to the ball still. And we just sit and watch the way he plays third base. It looks so effortless.
Gibby was a 2-time MVP and 2-time World Series championship.
Thank you, Tom.
Quite a compliment.
You bet. And Chipper facing David Hernandez out of the Arizona pen. He is ahead in the count now. 2 balls, no strikes.
This guy was impossible to hit last night. 3 up and 3 down 8th, including a called third strike on Chipper. Uggla fouled out, and he struck out Chipper and Freeman in the 8th. And looked good doing it.
3-0. Got the green light.
Had a good swing. If the Diamondbacks go on to win this ball game, he won't get to any part of the decision, but they can thank Patrick Corbin for what he did. His 3 innings of 1-hit shutout relief.
Good start. Leadoff walk in the 8th. That's the first Braves base runner since the 5th inning. Will this be the inning that Dan breaks out of it? He's 4 for his last 32. Dan has played virtually every inning of every game this year. Fredi Gonzalez has at least broached the possibility of giving Dan a breather here in the next couple of days. And he takes a quick strike. Freddie Freeman's been red hot. He's killed Arizona this year. He's our Delta Airlines on deck batter.
Last 11 games, 3 homers, 6 doubles, and 13 driven in. Two big breaking balls to start Dan. One that was thrown right at him that dropped in the inside corner. That one was last one a little low. When you've been getting hit with pitches and buzzed up and in, that's a tough pitch to hang in there on. And another.
I will say this about Uggla. He is drawing walks. I mean, he's earned 51 walks so far this year.
I think his description, though, was that's not fun.
Right. He wants to hit the ball.
Right.
Ooh, what a cut. And a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2.
Four-seamer at the belt. Hernandez won that battle. That's the best swing Dan's taken in this series.
Uh-oh, Hernandez stumbled at the mound. Remember, Bauer kept looking down at the slope of the hill.
His back foot slipped when he was pushing off the rubber.
Chipper at first, 3-2 count. Emergency hack, and Uggla stays alive.
It was indeed. Dan's been striking out so much, though, that Fredi Gonzalez is reluctant to send Chipper for fear of a strike him out, throw him out double play with Montero back there. If Chipper goes, he's got to get a good jump. He's extended his lead a little bit. And he was going. Oh, a balk.
A balk. Hernandez can't believe it. Chipper Jones is balked to second.
Kirk Gibson very upset about the call. Bill Welke kept pointing at his leg, at his right leg. I'm not sure what that was. You can't spin. You've got to step. You can't jump. I think Kirk let you know how he felt about it.
And Uggla strikes out looking. Third time that's happened tonight. He can't get Chipper to third base. One out.
Well, it was a breaking ball again. A 3-2 hook thrown at him that freezes him and then drops in there. Well, here's a guy that's been killing the Diamondbacks all year. Maybe he can do it one more time.
In Fredi's last 8 games, he's 10 for 31 with 6 RBIs and 6 runs scored. Even count.
He's trying to keep Freddie honest, down and in, and then work that backdoor breaking ball. At least until he gets 2 strikes, Freeman might be able to just look for that backdoor pitch.
Oh, he didn't swing.
I still didn't see anything on the balk. I mean,
I'm
quite honestly, I didn't see just a spin. He did pick his right foot up. There's that pitch again, but too wide. They're going to put him on.
As hot as he's been, can understand that. Yeah, that would set up a potential double play with Andrelton Simmons coming up. An intentional walk, second pass of the inning for Hernandez. Andrelton Simmons, the batter, with 2 on, 1 out.
He likes jumping on the first pitch in RBI spots.
He did, and rips it back toward us, but overhead, and see Reich 1. A walk, a mystery balk, a strikeout, now an intentional pass. Sets it up for the Braves kid shortstop.
Hopefully he learned something from the Dan Uggla at bat too, that this guy likes to throw the breaking ball at you as a right-handed hitter. Try to hang in there on it, maybe take it to right center.
1-2. Popped up. That one might stay in play for Goldschmidt over near the Braves dugout, and it pops out of his glove.
You're sure not going to get any help over there on that side as to his location and how close he was to the wall. Boink.
And they call that an error. Swing on the house for Andrelton. And he fought it off.
Hung in there on that breaking ball. Good job. And that one didn't break quite as much.
And a swing and a miss is the second out. And Eric Hinsky will be the Braves pinch hitter.
And that was just straight 4-seam gaps right there at 95.
Look at Eric's numbers in his career against the Diamondbacks. He's 4 for 25 as a pinch hitter for the Braves this year with 3 RBIs.
And he should come into this at bat with some confidence. Remember, he had been in an extended drought, kind of like Uggla, and then really broke out of it in Boston. 2 for 2 with a triple on Sunday, but he has not had an at bat on this homestand, so it's been a few days. But seemed to get it turned around that last game, and now an argument there on the balk.
Charlie Nagy still pleading his case. Palms raised skyward. Now he heads to the Arizona dugout. I'm sure Bill Welke on a hot night doesn't want to hear it. And with Hinske up, Joe, here's our Coors Light cold hard fact.
Major League players, most players with 5 or more homers. The Yankees with 10, the Braves with 8, Diamondbacks have 8.
And that's called a strike at the plate. Now it's Hinske's turn to complain.
Fox track shows you it's a pretty good pitch. Real good pitch.
So was that one, 0-2.
But he's got 95 gas on his fastball, and that breaking ball makes him doubly tough. They got him, as you told me last night, from Baltimore.
That was the Mark Reynolds trade.
Well, he's got a big arm.
0-2.
Nice job there just to fight that off. Now their outfield playing deep. Goldschmidt back on the grass at first base, trying to guard the line a little bit too for Hinske.
And Hinske's down swinging. Hernandez with 3 strikeouts in the 8th inning sends this game to the 9th. We are still tied. 2-2 your score. Craig Kimbrell is the man coming on to pitch for the Braves with the lower part of the Arizona order coming up.
Which is part of their order he faced last night and blew them away. Aaron Hill a called 3rd strike. Ryan Roberts swing and a miss. And Lyle Overbay swing and a miss. Game over. His 22nd save of the year, and now the subject of our SunTrust solid performance. Check it out. Last 13 innings, only 2 hits, no walks, and 24 strikeouts. Left-handers doing nothing against him this year. And yes, he is certainly all-star worthy. Craig Kimbrell perhaps going to his 2nd straight all-star game.
He'll face Aaron Hill, who is 0 for 3 tonight. How big a play is Jason Hayward's great catch and throw in the 2nd looking? That was off the bat of Aaron Hill. He threw out Kubel at the plate to keep the game scoreless in the 2nd inning. And now ball 2 to Aaron Hill.
Since his only blown save of the year, May 2nd, hitters are 4 for 59 against Craig. That's an .068 average.
Little pop behind the mound. Simmons off balance. What a play.
That one was kind of hard to read off the bat. I mean, he just fought this off, and it's just going to die behind the mound. But now Andrelton's got to kind of collect himself because he doesn't know what kind of hop he's going to get, if at all. Maybe the ball just dies on the grass. But a nice job there to be able to pick it up on that first bounce and make the play. Good read, good instincts again, good play.
Chris Young's 0 for 3.
We saw Chris Young turn around a pretty good fastball last night from Johnny Venners. Good fastball hitter, although with his right shoulder, not the same hitter since his injury.
He's ahead of Young, 1-2.
You throw a fastball, throw it off the plate.
He did, but it was called a ball. 2-2.
Can't believe he didn't swing at it. That was close. Too close to take, and he still didn't pull the trigger.
Putz and Shaw in the Arizona pen.
Putz is their closer. He'll come in if they get the lead.
High fly ball deep left field. Chris Young has hit a go-ahead homer. His second in as many games, and Arizona leads 3-2.
I'd say he's coming around. And he turned around a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, belt high. Again, always a good fastball hitter. Fought off a real good breaking ball to stay alive. And then jumped on that one.
The first homer allowed by Kimbrel since last September 19th down in Florida. So Lyle Overbay hits with Arizona in front. J.J. Putz, we presume, will come on to face the Braves in the bottom of the ninth inning. Atlanta will have the top of the order coming up.
They've got to have that guy, and they've got to have him healthy. So a big greeting for him.
emphasis that really quieted this Atlanta crowd.
9 straight games for the Diamondbacks now with a home run, with Chris Young touching one off against Craig Kimbrell. Over base, the second out, 2 away. Willie Bloomquist to short, and Simmons makes the play. Top of the order up for the Braves, down a run. 3-2, Arizona the lead. Leads the Braves 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Coming up after our game, we'll have Braves Live presented by AT&T. We'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez. We'll hear from the clubhouse, and we'll have all of tonight's highlights. There's a look at J.J. Putz, a very high earned run average for the Arizona closer.
Most of that at home. His ERA at home is 7.11, on the road 3.48. And he has 3 blown saves, as you see on the year, but has converted 4 straight and 7 of his last 8 as he tries to get back on track. Throws hard, good split finger pitch. See if the Braves can mount a rally here.
So the rally, we hope, will start with Michael Bourne, the Braves' leadoff man tonight. Has struck out and grounded out. He's also walked, and his 4th inning sacrifice fly brought home the Braves' 2nd run. After Trevor Bauer started and made his big league debut, Corbin, Hernandez, and now Putz out of the Arizona pen. Fly ball, left field line, but no play for Kubel.
Putz last year 45 for 49 in saves, a 2.17 ERA. 35 years old, 6'5", 250. He's had his share of arm troubles in his career too.
Roller toward first. Goldschmidt at the bag. 1 out. Here's Jason. Jason, another chance to extend his hitting streak. It's at 12 games. And Hayward 0 for 5 lifetime against Puts with 2 strikeouts.
He missed with his first 2 against Bourne, but Michael swung at the first one to even the count. And good patience here by Jason to get ahead. They can throw you a strike.
One and one.
Got a good pitch to hit there. One that he likes to extend his arms on. He was just under it a little bit, maybe a little bit late.
Another one. That one headed for the press box. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one a little bit higher than the one before, and Jason couldn't lay off. Nothing but fastballs so far.
That was off speed, and Hayward missed it.
That was the split.
So Jason's hit streak by the boards.
Watch that sinker go down. Hard split finger pitch.
Let's see if Prado can keep the game and inning alive for the Braves. If he can, Brian McCann's the next Braves hitter, and he's 2 for 2 against Puts.
Braves got their leadoff man on in the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, but only scored in 2 of those innings and left 8 men on base through 5 innings. That's something they'll be upset about if they can't make a comeback here.
And 5 of those 8 were runners at second or third base.
Yeah.
The Braves aren't done yet. 1 ball, no strikes to Prado. 3-2 Arizona. We're in the 9th.
Braves last night made the most out of 5 hits, scored 6 runs. Tonight they have 6 hits, but only 2.
Off the plate, 2 balls and a strike.
Brian McCann like a chance. He's 2 for 2 in his career. 2 doubles off JJ.
Full count. Toward third. That's a fair ball. Bloomquist, long throw, and what a play.
What a play.
He took away an extra base hit. And J.J. Putz, with some help from his Arizona defense, seals the deal and helps the Diamondbacks avoid a 3-game sweep.
Boy, was that a great first step, that crossover step to get over there and get the glove on it, and then really quick to his feet to make the throw.
So J.J. Putz picks up his 14th save, and the Toyota play of the game came in the top half of this 9th inning.
With one out off Craig Kimbrell, a fastball belt high, and for the second night in a row, Chris Young turned around a fastball. Last night his first ever pinch hit homer. Tonight a game winner in the top of the 9th. The Toyota play of the game.
So 3-2 tonight's final in Atlanta. Arizona salvages 1 of 3.